Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice, brought to you by Photography as an Art, Harvey Brandman, Master Photographer, located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard in Burbank, California. And attorney Ron Irwin's 5150, the book, and author Larry Buford's book to the future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, and State Farm agent Carla Green, who says, and like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Roll the video.
And you can even pick a new spokesperson and a sell that phone.
The Samsung Galaxy S5 will rock your face off! When Boost Mobile invited me to the spokes battle, I felt pretty confident in my abilities.
Spokespeople use superlative language to make stuff sound amazing. I call it fluff. So let's take that Samsung Galaxy S5 and get fluffy.
The Galaxy S5 is amazing, he yelled.
Fluff!
I yelled. Yeah! The Samsung Galaxy S5 is amazing! It's better than the best thing ever! I was really excited when he asked me to sing because I've got some skills. Samsung Galaxy S5 makes me feel so alive.
Ooh, Samsung Galaxy S5 is a mega fluff! I'm gonna go to Samsung Galaxy S5! I'm never impressed. I'm really telling you, you're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've just seen a short clip today of our guest. She was born in the city of Olongapo, Philippines. She's very talented, an actress, producer, writer. She's done film, television, stage, stand-up comedy, commercials, and many, many, many other things. Please welcome, if you will, a very special guest, Anna Parsons. Anna, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah,
You're looking good, kid.
Thank you.
I'll jump to the question now. Where did we first meet each other?
We met each other doing a staged reading, doing a play, maybe 2 months ago.
2 months
in
ago.
Los Angeles. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty great.
And I said to myself, so that is a very talented lady right there.
Well, you're right.
You ain't conceded, you're convinced. You ain't conceded.
No, I remember we connected, and I remember thinking your voice was so amazing. And,
Thank you. Gift of God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a gift of God. I thank him every day
Yeah.
for having these lights, this pops, this, that kind of stuff. But thank you for being here today. It's a great way. Your resume is great. That's what's great. Makes you wonder where to begin. Top or bottom, bottom to the top.
Oh, ooh.
You got a heavy resume there. Born in the Philippines, and would you please show that wonderful picture of that lady sitting with her mother, please? Yeah, there she is. Yeah, hold it just a little bit. Oh, that's nice. You can get a chance to see Anna when she was a baby. Look at her. Look at her.
Look at my head.
Oh, look at that. Brains.
Brains. All brains.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you very much. Thank you. Tell us about those days of growing up in the Philippines.
Yeah, so I was born in the Philippines, but I was actually brought here when I was a baby. So my mom had me, she didn't know she was pregnant, like the TV show, and was like, okay, I'm going to give her a better life in the U.S. And she pretty much gave up everything and smuggled me here into the United States. It's a very present topic, being an immigrant.
I'm not
legal,
worried about
though.
nobody knocking on the door.
I know. We're covered. But so I was only there when I was a baby, and then we actually relocated to New Jersey, and then after she passed away when I was 7, I was adopted by her sister. So it's a long story in terms of my history, but and I don't really remember a ton from when I was a baby, obviously, but I was actually there in January for the first time since I was a child, and it was an incredible trip. Yeah, I ate a lot of rice.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
A lot of rice.
Yes, Asians love rice. Black people, we like rice too. Especially with some brown gravy on top of that bad boy.
I didn't know that you guys love rice.
Oh,
That's
God, yes.
awesome.
When I was in the Navy, we had a lot of Filipinos, and in the chow hall where we all lived, they cooked this big pot of white rice and leave. I said, excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
What about the brothers? We like a little rice too. So we
Yeah.
wait and go out there and make some. Oh, yeah, love rice. So, yeah.
It's like all rice all day.
Oh, yes,
The rice cooker is on just
all day.
All day.
It's a beautiful delicacy. God created something very special when he gave us rice.
He did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And a very unique thing, and is that a lot of people don't understand, here in Southern California, this is where the second location in the world of Filipinos are. A lot of Filipinos
Yeah,
here.
a lot of Filipinos. We are the largest growing Asian American community in the U.S. and I think you said also in California.
Yes,
So
yes.
Time's up, guys. It's time for us to just take over.
Go ahead.
And just do it.
Like the way she said that, Tony. She was smiling when she said it. When did you first get the acting bug?
I first got the acting bug. I actually started to write monologues when I was a kid. So when I was like in middle school and high school, and I was in high school, middle school and high school did theater, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And it actually took quite a while for me to kind of figure that out. I grew up in Santa Barbara, Goleta, which is Southern California, beautiful area. And then I moved to LA and I was sort of taking acting classes and didn't really know what I wanted. Santa Monica College, I started studying musical theater.
You went to Santa Monica College?
I did. I went to SMC for maybe a year, kind of figuring out what I wanted to do.
You know that's close to me.
You mean in your heart or like you live by
I
it?
teach there.
Oh my God.
Teach broadcasting
Great.
and
I know, man.
other
God
things.
is bringing us together right now.
That's what I said in the beginning. I mentioned.
Yeah.
God does these things. Yes.
Yeah.
Santa Monica.
SMC, I have a very special place in my heart for that school. And I was encouraged by the teachers there to study theater. So I auditioned for some schools, but the school that I liked the most was a school called Circle in the Square. It's like part of NYU Exchange, and I ended up getting in for musical theater. So that's like really where I feel like my beginnings of an artist really happened, was there.
Okay. Is that school still in existence?
It is, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's still there.
Okay. Maybe we'd like to see if we can get them to come down here because, again, a lot of people want training. They need to know where to go.
Yeah.
You know, we get people to go to USC, UCLA, good schools. I mean, they're all good schools. But it's, here's the smaller school if you like to go to a smaller school.
Yeah, I think the greatest thing about Circle is that, or it felt like that for me, is that a lot of our teachers, also teach at Yale and teach at Juilliard and teach at all these other great places. And it's a conservatory, back in the day, the group theater, like all these teachers who came from that, so they're all like 400 years old. And you get the best training and you're not, paying the high prices and you're still getting the training. Right. So I loved it.
Yes.
I loved school.
When you got schools that every other professor's a PhD, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
That's what you get. Training and education as an actor, that is very important to you, is it not?
It's really important to me. I would definitely say it's interesting being in this business because you can be in it for a long time and not realize when you're planting seeds along the way.
Yes.
And the last theater job I did was a international Broadway tour with David Arquette and
David Arquette.
With David Arquette,
Yes.
yeah, Renee Olstead, James Maslow, and the reason I got that job is because I actually went to theater school with Patrick Costello, who thought of me randomly and was like, "Hey, do you want to audition for this play?" Like they'd been workshopping it in Canada with Jay Baruchel, and then David was going to come on, and it was a whirlwind. Like I just came and auditioned and got the job. But little did I think, many, many moons before that I would have gotten this job, but it was through the training and having studied there with him. So, I mean, besides job hookups or whatever, I think training is really important.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. We were talking in the blue room, the green room rather, the fact that how actors, what I admire so much about y'all, you stay together, you find each other,
Yeah.
you have your own little networks, you get with each other. When you hear about a job over here, you're on it.
Yeah.
When you hear about an audition, you're on it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty about what you do.
Yeah.
I know sometimes some mothers will say, and fathers, I don't want you to be an actress, I want you to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
But that love that you ladies and gentlemen have for what you do, I take my hat off to you. I'm not even wearing a hat. I take my hat off to you.
Thank you.
Beautiful thing what you're doing. Okay, now let's start with your film and television career. According to IMDb, you got your first acting credit in 2002 with a role in a TV series called Becoming.
Yep.
What was that like? Wow, Becoming.
So this was a very fun television series on MTV that I did. It was actually the summer I was going to theater school. I had just auditioned and I was like trying to figure out things, and I'd heard through the grapevine MTV was doing the show, and it was to imitate or try to reenact Gwen Stefani.
Yes.
And growing up, people had always said like, "Oh, you look like Gwen, whatever." So I was like, I'll just go and audition and see what happens.
Yes.
So I ended up getting on the show and winning. I was the best Gwen, I guess.
Go ahead.
But it was really fun. I got to have a little concert, and they bleached my hair blonde in one sitting, which was very painful.
Now you're platinum?
I was platinum blonde, bleached my hair in one sitting, one shoot in the morning. The cameras are at me, and I was like, crying because I was like, this is so painful. This is what you do for art, man.
Right,
what you do for beauty.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun, and it's one of those funny things where. It happened. I did it so long ago, but people still remember me from it and want to talk about it and stuff. It was fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
Like I say, you actors and actresses, a unique group, a very unique group.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we got the idea to do a show like this. You don't see too many shows like this.
Yeah.
Where we sit down and talk about the actors, the actresses, the people in the business as a whole,
Yeah.
united. Of course, with this being award season, we're seeing a lot of the rewards for all the hard work that people put in there. And
Yeah.
the winner is.
I think it's important, and I love that because I don't think that we always generally get to talk about our process, and especially actors who are just grinding it, and we're not, again, name or A-list, but we're just in the mix, and we're making our health insurance, and we're going to all these auditions, and we're sort of giving our soul every single time. I think it's wonderful that you're able to do this and share our stories because we out there, there's a percentage of us that are working, but
Yes. Because just traditionally, to be an actress, you had to be a waitress and be discovered by a producer. Is that still happening, to your knowledge?
Back in the, what are we, 1950s, you're discovered, you're a star. No, I mean, certainly I think that there are, with social media and all of that stuff happening now, people are getting discovered, obviously, through Instagram and through, the Twitters and the whatever, and people get jobs, through being social influencers. Right. But I definitely think you still have to have the talent behind it, and you still have to have the training behind it. I mean, listen, if I look like Giselle, probably going to be a lot easier to get a job. I mean? There are certain aesthetics that come with being in this business, obviously, that make it a lot easier for you. But no, I don't think that stuff happens anymore as much. Or you just don't hear about it. And I think it really is a longevity game. So. Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, we had some folks come out here from Central Casting. It was we had a lot of people come in and visit, see the show. They enjoyed it. They got a lot of good education out of it.
Yeah.
And we'll get them back again. We'll see if we can get them back again. I'm also working on Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA to get them in groups like that.
Oh, that's
because
great.
People want to hear what's going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. You took a break. Doing a few years, you're doing such things as stage work and off-Broadway roles. Off-Broadway roles?
I did a lot of my theater background. I'm such a theater nerd. I'm a bard nerd. I love Shakespeare. I love classical language.
You love classical acting?
Yeah. So
Yes.
I did the whole New York artist thing where it was I graduated theater school, and then I went to I'd wait tables till 4 a.m. and then get up at 5 to go to Actors Equity in the rain to do a monologue for 154th Street theater company that wasn't going to pay me anything, but it was I needed to do it. That was my jam, man. So yes, theater. It was a lot of crying in black box theaters and absurdist and mime and that kind of stuff. It's the New York artist life.
Yes.
I definitely got to do that. And then in the interim, I was also I took a workshop at Labyrinth Theater Company, which is Phil Hoffman's theater company before he passed away. So I was working with those guys and just sort of doing random theater all throughout New York.
Because when you pull your resume out, all you see is lines and lines and lines of positions you've had and people you've worked with. Names. In a conversation, you'll drop a name, but it's not that you just drop a name because you know them. You work with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
I get around.
Yep, you do. That's putting it mildly. You do get around. Okay. 2007, you got a role in the TV series Street Fighter. Please tell us about that role.
Okay, so Street Fighter was a very fun show I did with my producer, Sam Reach, who actually is a producer on a show called Adam Ruins Everything. And I'm actually going to be working on that show next week, which is cool. But it was a series that was based on the Street Fighter characters. I played the iconic Chun-Li. And when I auditioned, I really had no clue what I was doing. I was just gonna, whatever. And I think I read Sam had said something she was just the best actress. She just made it real and made it fun and made it so that I wanted to work with her. So I did the show, and I did about 6 episodes, and it was really popular, and I would get a lot of fan mail, which was really strange and fun.
All the same time.
Like
yeah.
Germany, and like
Yes.
I'm like, what? Like, I love you in Street Fighter, and I'm like, whoa, where is this and why is this happening? But it was great. It was great exposure. It was a lot of fun. I got to do a little bit of kung fu and play. So.
Okay. We just happened to have a small clip.
Oh my God.
Would you roll it, please, too?
Oh.
John Lee, I just want to talk.
I can get those bloodstains out of your shirt.
What bloodstains?
Waited 10 years for this.
Wow.
I can't.
Never
my
mess
own
with
stunts.
never mess with a woman with a plunger.
Don't mess with me. I'm a plunger.
I guess he thought because he was in a wheelchair, he was going to get away with it.
And
Huh?
that's what I thought, but he didn't.
I like when you say you would like to see some blood on you. What blood? I have no blood on me. 2 seconds, sir.
Yeah.
Blood, come on in.
Yeah. I'm gonna-
He got him.
I'm like,
He
"Yeah, bud."
got that guy. You know, you actors and actresses, you have to do auditions.
Mm-hmm.
We hear a lot of people, some like it, some don't. What's your take on it?
Auditions are an interesting thing, I think. I think for me, it's always been an opportunity to do the work, which ultimately is what it comes down to. You know, like your ability to give yourself and who you are, and you know, just all of you into this small little world. Because if you're not working all the time, sometimes that is all you kind of get. If you're not like getting hired or you're just not settling on series. I personally do like auditioning. I mean, it's different. Commercials are different than, you know, TV or film. Obviously, like theater is completely different. I definitely love to audition for theater. I love to do comedy. I mean, I really love to do everything, but I don't hate it. I think it's because it's always given me an opportunity to be an artist and show a part of myself. And I understand that, like, you know, if you don't get the job, it doesn't mean you don't get you don't get a job. Like, you could be booking the room, you could be booking that producer, you could be booking that director who's going to remember you like 10 years from now, you know? So, I mean, you know, pilot season can get really crazy if you're having like, you know, 5 pilots in a day and you've got to memorize 20 pages per pilot and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to kill myself. You know, it's just like, it can get kind of kooky. But again, it's the job and it's a part of the work. So I enjoy every single audition I get.
Wow.
Almost.
That's interesting. Almost. So you really learn a lot when you're out there doing an audition.
You do learn a lot, I think. And also because if you're auditioning for different types of shows, you know, you're auditioning for multicam, you're auditioning for 1 hour drama, you're auditioning for, you know, I don't know, Tracy Let's Play. All of it is, can be really different and unique. Okay. And it's just part of the practice, I think, you know. So, and I just love doing the work.
Okay. Take us through an audition. Some people have never seen or heard an audition.
Okay, what kind of audition?
Okay, a job just came open. We need a woman, Asian women, to be a wife, raise children, but trying to work at the same time.
Okay. Take us through an audition in terms of my process.
Yes.
Or okay, cool. So I get the audition and it's tomorrow and I have to memorize 20 pages. Yay. Hopefully I'm not working that night, and read the pilot, read everything, do all the research you can on the producers, on the network, maybe what else they're working on, the tone of the show. Then my process has been changing because I feel like I can tend to over prepare, which isn't bad, but it's also not good because it doesn't free you in the room. So often I'll coach. I'll coach with Steve Braun at BGB Studio. I'll coach with Jeffrey Berg, who teaches at Yale. Like I'll coach with people if I feel like the audition necessitates that. If it's a series regular, if it's like a big pilot where they're really actually looking, I'll do that. And usually preparation is just memorizing, imagination work, substitution work, just all the stuff that I've been doing training, and being able to let it go when you go in the room. So just doing the work, trusting that, and then letting it go.
Thank you. That is a great description of what you did. A lot of people, they go to these auditions. I talk to them after the fact.
Yeah.
I try to talk to some before the fact. And some little angst in there, and a little nervousness. But once they get in there, you have what is it? Is it like a table with people sitting behind a table?
Yeah.
And all right, next, they bring you in.
Yeah.
Sometimes
you're taping, sometimes you're, doing producers where it's like a lot of people. Sometimes it's just like one person, And then for commercials, it's similar. When you get a call back, it's like the ad people in the room, the director's in the room. So you've got to who are you going to connect to? The director, they're talking about you and they want you to do something else, and you get an adjustment, and you have to be able to be free enough to work in the room and be able to do it. So.
Wow. Whew, a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
But y'all love it.
We love it. We have to. I think we have to.
Have to
love
love it. Yeah.
We have to love it to torture ourselves this much.
There are those, and I'm not sure you met them. I don't do auditions. Not me. Not moi. I don't do that.
Yeah.
What do you say to people like that?
I think that there are actors at a specific level that have that choice, so they're not able to, of course, they're just going to do straight offers or whatever. Although I was listening to something interesting, Linda, oh my God, what is her name? She was on a show called Bloodline, Linda Carter? No, not Linda Carter. Anyway, she's like a really well-known actress, and she's been around forever. She was on Freaks and Geeks. I can't remember her last name. She's beautiful and wonderful. But she said she auditioned for Green Book, which was, she walked in the room, it was like Viggo and, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, she's been around for a bazillion years, and she's still auditioning. She's like, I still audition. Like, that's just part of the job, I personally don't know any actors that sort of turn their nose at auditioning.
Got you. I do.
You do?
I ain't mention no names, but I do.
Yeah. I mean, I think, if there are projects, if it's like nudity or if it's like something you just don't feel like doing, sure.
Yeah. And that's a right that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take it or leave
Yeah,
it.
you can take an artistic, stance on it. Like, I just don't want to do it. Right. Sometimes I would get auditions where I just don't feel right for the role. And I don't feel like they're necessarily going to look at my tape. Right. And I don't necessarily think I'm going to be putting my best foot forward by, trying to play a teenager in the Bronx. Just not... You know what I mean? Like, they don't want me.
Yeah,
they want a teenager in the Bronx.
Right.
Like, so, I mean, I can act it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So sometimes, so I get that. I get it when it's like an artistic choice. Yeah.
Okay. Roles that you like and look for.
Roles that I like and look for. I'm definitely steering more towards, again, I love classical work. I love things with language. I love doing like accents and stuff like that. That's fun for me.
How many accents do you do?
I do a Filipino accent very good. When I play nurses.
Good.
I did play a nurse on The Affair. But yeah, I mean, I studied that in school, so I can do quite a few accents.
It's an asset to do that.
Yeah.
Definite asset.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see myself playing a German soldier anytime soon, but if I need it, I can do it.
Okay. Now, you did a lot of movies, TV, just working as time went by. And in 2004, you did Jeremy Lin, the unauthorized musical, A Journey to Linsanity. Said that right, okay.
Yeah.
Describe that experience, please, Emma.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this. So Jeremy Lin was a musical that I wrote with Aidan Park and Edelyn O'Connell. At the time, we were just frustrated actors. We're here in LA, and we're like, we're not getting auditions, or we were, and they were just not fun and not fulfilling. And so we got together. We wanted to write something that showcased our talents and our abilities. And I come from musical theater training, and so do they. So we were like, let's write a musical, And then we thought, how can we do it and also expand the Asian experience? At the time, Jeremy Lin, I think, was, I don't know, maybe it was like a few years into like his Linsanity stuff. It definitely had already passed, but he was still pretty popular. And we also thought, hey, let's rewrite songs like kind of like Forbidden Broadway where people know the songs. So we wrote the musical within a month. It was pretty fast. We'd already booked a theater, and what we wanted to do was, I'm a huge believer in, just sort of giving back to your community and giving back in your work. So what we wanted to do was connect with a nonprofit where the proceeds would go to the nonprofit. So we connected with Love Never Fails World Charity. They support women who've been affected by human trafficking, and all the proceeds went to that charity. So it was a sold-out event. People loved the musical. We were very surprised that people liked it because we thought this is fun and it's great and we're giving back and we're being artists and we're being true to ourselves, but also like people like the show. Like people really liked the show. So it's one of the things I'm very, very proud of, and yeah, I love it.
Okay. Tony, would you do us the honor, please?
A tender tale of Jeremy Lin. His eyes are slanted, his body is thin. He wowed the public with b-ball skills. His journey to stardom gave us chills. He trod a path few Asians did. This Jeremy Lin, the Asian player from Harvard.
One day you're going to be very famous Asian doctor.
I want to be just like Michael Jordan.
He came from a small NorCal town, a Christian man and good surrounds. And who would have known that he would be the sire of such insanity? Oh, Jeremy Lin, the Asian player from Harvard.
Who is Michael Jordan?
He's a black basketball player.
No! Sing your balls of pride, Jeremy, and lead to the skies. This musical is not just for gay guys. Inconspicuous Jeremy was quick and fast and tall. He was a flash of a smile under his word. Jeremy played like no one could.
Jeremy dribbled and Jeremy drove, coming the hero of Asian trove.
Dylan was smooth, Dylan was subtle, Dylan would blink and Kobe would scuttle. Jeremy smooth and Jeremy subtle, Jeremy hero and Asian scuttle. Jeremy smooth and Jeremy subtle, Jeremy hero and Asian scuttle. Dylan.
Marvelous.
Jeremy Lin the musical.
Ooh, I could sit and see that all day long. That is beautiful. Beautiful.
So much fun.
What's it like being half Filipino in the business?
Well, because I'm half Filipino, half white, I'm Hollywood Mexican, which is just one of my jokes. It's interesting, you know. I feel like for commercials, it's definitely been a plus for me. I've been lucky enough to just be that sort of ambiguous person, like ethnically ambiguous, so we could fit her in the Latin market or whatever. For theatrical, I find it's sometimes been a little challenging. I'm not Asian enough for some roles, or like I'll have to go in, or I don't have to, but like just to sort of appease the casting or make them understand that I'm Asian. It's like straighten the hair, like really straight, and draw on the eyeliner, like I'm like ready to bind my feet. So it's, but I think the landscape's changing. I think that people are, a lot of my writing and stand-up comes from this perspective. So I love to make fun of it because it's so like, it's just so obvious, like, being a mix and people don't know who you are, and I just love making fun of identity in that way. So it's challenging, but it's also been something that's been helpful to me in some ways.
And you wear it with pride, my dear.
I do.
Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
I got some Pinoy pride. Although you know what I did recently?
What?
This is a true story. 2 weeks ago, I did 23andMe. And I hadn't, because I didn't know my father. It's a whole Miss Saigon thing. It's a whole other story. But I didn't know my dad in Olongapo, and so I didn't know my DNA. And I'm like half Irish. I'm a Filipino Irish.
Woo! Don't ask people about their culture. You might get insulted. Woo.
Filipino Ireland.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's interesting
Yes.
too. So I'm not just white, I'm a leprechaun.
You're a human being,
Yeah.
one of God's creatures. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Indeed. Just one quick question before we go to break. Is there a number of Filipino theater groups in this city?
Filipino theater groups. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a community. We've got a couple Asian Americans, specifically East-West players out here that do. They tend to, I think, do mostly plays that are not like written as whatever Caucasian, and then they'll cast it with like Asians kind of thing. And I definitely think that the Asian community is pretty supportive of each other out here, and especially with this whole, the diversity expansion. But yeah, I think we're around with Filipinos. I think it's not crowd mentality, but it's like we're here, And then we kind of tend to support each other a little bit more once we get visibility, which is interesting.
Yes.
I have just been like on my pedestal about being half Filipino. Like I'm like, hey guys, like I am half Filipino, and that is like what this is, you know. I think it's because I've also come into myself more as a Filipino woman, you know, and I want to talk about it. But there are some. They're not a ton, but we're getting there.
Good.
Yeah.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith.
I will.
Definitely. We're going to take a break. Ron Brewington here at the Actor's Choice. My guest today, the actor, actress, producer, writer, Anna Parsons. Okay? The studio of Harvey Brandman, Photography as an Art, is proud to offer you a $100 discount off any photo package valued at $300 or more. Now, Harvey's been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of his customers. So please give him a call today at 818-954-9294. That's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad you did. And by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about his offer right here on The Actor's Choice. 5150, the book. It's the release from author and attorney Ron Irwin. Now, as a young Marine, Irwin spent 13 months in Chu Lai, Republic of Vietnam. His experience, where nearly 3 million Americans went to war, was, as he puts it, 5150. The book is currently available in paperback at lulu.com, and Irwin says he'll give 20% of net book sales split evenly between the veterans of foreign wars and Vietnam veterans of America. Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. It's a new book by author Larry Buford. It's a historical and faith-based account of how what we do and follow today will affect us tomorrow. The author also calls it an adventure for those who want to travel back through time. The book is now available in paperback for only $17.95 from Amazon. Please get your copy today. And now a word from State Farm agent Carla Green.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them. But a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because the State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just 4 walls and 4 wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Let me help you with that. Give me a call. State Farm agent Carla Green, 213-239-9675. I look forward to speaking with you.
Thanks, Carla. And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. For more information, 213-239-9675. That's 213-239-9675. Hey, I got some good news for you Marvin Gaye fans. We just got the word that the legendary Motown singer will receive a U.S. postal stamp, and it will be unveiled. We got the date now, Tuesday, April 2nd. Now, as you know, that's his birthday. He would have been 80 years old this coming year. So we don't want to have the time. We don't have the time or the location, but just as soon as we get it, we'll get that information, and we'll pass it on to you right away. Marvin Gaye, Prince of Motown, will get a U.S. postage stamp. Yeah. And finally, if you have a product, a service, or upcoming event that you'd like to see advertised on this program, please call 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Our price is very affordable. Thank you. Okay, this is The Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. My guest today, Anna Parsons.
Here's an idea. Get rid of heavy bags. Get things off to a great start. Get new Miracle Grow, Expand, and Grow. Our best planting mix ever.
Hello, credit cards. Arco, straight up gas.
Honey Badger.
Honey Badger.
Don't call me Honey Badger. I mean, she got out of the car, and I was like, who's the Honey Badger now? I was like, I could see her Honey Badger. She just wore something that's a little bit more.
What makes a Hershey's bar pure? The pure joy of winning a S'mores barbecue with Rascal Flats. Pure Hershey's.
Wow, Anna, you sure look good in those commercials. Go, Anna. Go, Anna. Go, Anna.
Eat Hershey's. So many Hershey's.
Oh, yes, you do well in commercials. How do you get into commercials? A lot of people say, okay, you're an actor, actress. How do you get a commercial?
Well, I was lucky enough to actually sign with my incredible agency, Brady, Brennan and Rich, when I first moved to LA. And I got them because I had a referral. I was still in theater school in New York and deciding whether or not I wanted to move to Los Angeles. And at the time, I started doing a little bit of print, started doing a little bit of commercials, and I was like, oh my gosh, like actors make money doing this, you know? I thought it was, I don't know, I wasn't exposed to that world. So I got lucky in that I just had a great meeting with BBR, and my first agent there, Berndalo, was also Filipino, so we connected. And that was just it. So they liked me, and I was like, oh, I like doing commercials, you know, and it's just been a really good fit since I've been, well, just in my life, it's just a great fit. So, and there's so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much fun.
You need commercials.
Yeah.
As we tell people, a commercial over at Santa Monica College, we say a commercial is there to convince the consumer to buy a product.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And it's, you know, it's one of those wonderful things, I think, as an actor, if you're also doing voiceovers or you're, you know, this is how we make a living. So a lot of actors just, you know, supplement a ton of their income by doing that. So I'm not that I'm a huge fan of like selling things per se, but I do like the money I make.
Oh, yes, yes.
I like those dollars.
Oh, yeah, them dollars.
I like them dollars.
You like dollars?
I like them
Tony,
dollars.
should I? Now's the time. Can I have your right hand, please?
Yeah.
Up this way, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. Here's $1.
Oh! Hey, now, is this real?
It's real, yes. I always hand them out.
Just keep this
That's for you. So good luck. I always hand them out to people at these shows, for sure.
Oh, my God.
For sure.
I called it.
Yeah, you never be broke. Never be broke. Indeed. Yeah. Did you see, by the way, did you see the Super Bowl last night?
I did.
Did you see some of those commercials?
I did.
What'd you think?
Yeah, like they were fun. Did you love them? Were you?
Some were a little drawn out.
Yeah.
Some were, I've seen them before, they just modified an existing one. Because we always realize that's half the fun of the Super Bowl.
Right, it's the ads.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I want to see some brand new about a product. Just be very creative. I thought they would be a little bit more
A little
creative.
bit
on
safe,
some.
yeah. I mean, I think with the whole, I don't know, Maroon
Yes.
5 thing, and like they were
Yes.
just kind of like, let's just keep it
Yeah.
not so,
Yeah.
It's an interesting time,
Yeah.
I think. So
Sorry the Rams lost. Oh,
Yeah.
boy, sorry about that. But
we're in LA right now,
Yeah,
Ron.
I know. I don't want anybody kicking me in the wrong place. Gladys Knight did an excellent job in the beginning of the show, singing, and the way they have it is, you know, that's a big stadium that has a roof on it.
Yeah.
So they actually opened up the roof, and the timing was right on. When she finished that last word, here come jets flying right overhead.
Oh, my
The
gosh.
timing was beautiful.
I know.
Beautiful.
Gladys.
If you listen to this one, Gladys Knight, you did a great job, lady. Thank you. You did a great job. Great job. Loved it. Okay. And earlier you spoke about training for yourself. What's it like being an immigrant and an actor?
Well, it's something that I just started over the past couple years really talking about, and especially really talking about in my comedy. I think it's one of those things where, or I know it's one of those things for me where I feel like culturally I've come into myself more as a Filipino, half Filipino, and an immigrant. So, you know, since, 2 years ago and Trump getting elected, which was, not into that, but I was already starting to get involved with the immigrant community, going out to Adelanto Detention Center to visit them in detention and just get involved with women's groups. And so for me, it's not just, human rights or whatever. For me, it's a very personal thing.
Right.
And it's something I feel like as I've gotten older, I really love to talk about. I really love to talk about my pride of, that my mom smuggled me here into the United States. Like when I think I can't do something, I'm like, yo, mom, you know what I mean? But this happens all the time,
Right.
There's how these families who just want freedom and they want to, live the American dream or, whatever. So for me, it's a great thing. It's also a lot of self-induced pressure.
Yes.
Yes.
No
pressure. You just got smuggled here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of pressure.
A little bit of pressure.
Yeah. And again, I think for me, the Filipino community and how I want to represent that and how I want to talk about that is something that's important. So. Yeah, I feel very in right now, being an immigrant.
Yes, every race has a history.
Yeah.
And if you look back at the Filipino history, particularly in World War II, they did so much to help the United States win and won medals of honor and other respective awards, did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a military man myself.
Yeah.
22 years almost in the Navy, and I like to keep up on history of different cultures.
Yeah, and you said you were in Olongapo, so you have...
yeah, oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Subic Bay and a few other places,
Yeah.
Manila, had a great time. Beautiful cities. Food was good.
Food's so good.
And beautiful women all over the place.
Everywhere.
Everywhere you go. Beautiful, beautiful ladies. Wow. What's the difference between New York and Los Angeles for you? Because you're back and forth, back and forth. You've been back and forth.
Yeah, I would say, well, no car. I mean, I have a car in LA, obviously. So the car changing thing is a lot of fun here.
Right.
You know, just changing outfits in the car, doing that in the subway in New York. I would say, you know, and again, this is my personal opinion. I think people take the training very seriously in New York City. You know, people, you're only considered for certain, you know, rep companies or like shows if you've done a ton of Broadway or if you went to Yale or whatever. Like, whereas here, I feel like, and it's not that the training isn't as important. I think that the bar is set higher in terms of your training and stuff like that in New York. So that's a huge difference.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you which one you like, which city you like best. I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to ask you. Tony, I'm not going to ask you. Don't ask. So, which one do you like better?
Well, I miss the seasons in New York. I do, and I miss the people. I do miss the subway, actually.
Oh, God, yes.
I miss, like, not having to, like, I miss not being in a car.
Yeah.
I miss the human
Pretzels
connection.
with
I miss the
hot
pizza
dogs,
man.
Pizza man.
I miss, like,
yes.
the cheap coffee.
Yes.
I feel like there's more of a human connection in New York, and that like you're just constantly running into people all the time. You know, in any major city.
Yeah.
But here, it's like you're stuck in your car and you're on your phone, and it's a lot lonelier, I think, of an experience in LA.
I was born and raised in New York City. We called the city so nice they named it twice the city so pretty. They called it New York City. Born and raised in New York. In Harlem.
Oh my God, in Manhattan?
No, uptown Manhattan.
Oh wow.
Harlem, sex they call Harlem.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, black
Harlem's
sex.
not cheap anymore.
Oh no, it ain't.
No.
I have a daughter just went to school here last year, over to Columbia University. Now in Yale.
Yeah.
Law school.
Yeah.
And believe me, I was stunned when I walked around. I said, "This is New York. This is Harlem now.
This is Harlem?
Gentrification. What's going on here?"
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. It's interesting. Okay. To your knowledge, what's the state of Asian actors and actresses in Hollywood?
What's the state?
In other words, what are they doing? Are they you getting good jobs? Because my next question deals with that movie that came out last year with the all Asian. Yes.
I mean, with Sandra Oh obviously winning, you know, this year, which is so wonderful. I cried so hard. Like, I was like, it felt like I won. You know what I mean? Because it's a win for the community.
Yes,
you know, it's a huge win for Asian Americans. And the fact that she's been at it for so long, you know, and she came from theater and she's just been doing it, just keeping going, you know, like, I think the doors are opening. I think I definitely see more in terms of breakdowns and what they're trying to put out there, more ethnic specific. Definitely a lot more diversification, which is really, really cool. But I think I don't know. I personally think it's going to be a slow turn. I don't think we're just going to, you know, immediately, you know, change the TV like it is in, you know, London or the UK where it's like everyone's brown. It's just going to be a slow thing, you know. I mean, we still have, I don't know, Scarlett Johansson playing an Asian, you know? It's just like, I don't even...
Yeah, they had white guys playing Asians. They talked like Asians.
Yeah.
They've done it all these years.
Yeah, it's still like, I mean, we're in, and I get it, you know, I'm sure you get it. It's a business. It's just
business.
What's going to sell, what's going to make money. But Crazy Rich Asians was one of those things where it's like, okay, we can make money and we can be a big blockbuster and we can sell and we can be Asian too, you know?
Okay. I've been seeing a lot of articles, I read the trades, and they talk about change and they talk about diversity. Is that for real or is that just hot air?
Hot air. It's, you know, again, I think it's one of those things that it's gonna take time. I think that we are, I mean, I think I'm seeing a lot more opportunities for, I think the last few times I've like read the, you know, breakdowns or whatever, it's like specifically a Filipino character. The first time I ever read that was reading for a role on Aziz Ansari's Master of None, second season.
Yes.
It was the first time in my life I had ever seen a breakdown for specifically Filipino girl at bar,
Right.
hooks up with him or whatever.
Instead
But
of somebody
I
playing
was
it,
like, I dropped the page. I was like, oh my God, Aziz wrote a role for a Filipino. Like, what? It's been the first time. So I think I don't think it's hot air, but I do think it's small chipping away. And that's one of the reasons I write. It's one of the reasons I do comedy. Yes. One of the reasons I wrote my pilot. It's because I am excited about this expansion and I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of the change.
Yes. You know any Asian directors, Filipino directors?
Filipino directors. When I was in the Philippines last year, I was on a set called By Bust. The director, it was a friend of mine who stunt coordinated this guy, Sonny Saizon, and the director, Eric Madi, was directing it. It was a Filipino movie.
Yes.
So I guess that's the closest I can say. It was an Ann Curtis film.
Just asking.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah, it's a pretty small world.
Let's get back to you, because I noticed when I was reading your bio that you are a very passionate advocate for women, immigration, and human rights. Please tell us about that.
Yeah, so again, since over the last couple years, a lot of things have changed in the country. Things are changing, guys. Started a couple years ago. Anybody notice? So again, as I've come into my, remembering I'm an immigrant and who I am, I've just been passionate about it. And luckily, I've been continuously training at a studio called BGB Studio with Steve Braun and Risa Berman Garcia. And they support actors who who give time to community, who give time to give back, who give time to these kinds of things, like Journey Out, women who have been affected by trafficking, all of these things. They're very, very supportive of sort of progressive way of life being an actor. So that's actually kind of how I started. I started writing about being an immigrant maybe a couple of years ago, and then I started to really volunteer and do things like that because it's something that was always inside me. I just didn't know how to, and luckily BGB was able to steer me towards being just that better human being and a better person.
Yes.
Because again, I feel like I can do so much as an actor, but if I'm not actually out there and volunteering and giving my time and connecting, my hamburger commercial isn't gonna change someone's life necessarily. So I'm passionate about it.
All right, because I understand you spent a little time volunteering with numerous organizations here in LA.
Yeah, I do. Again, through BGB, we work with St. Francis, and we feed the homeless, a few times a month. Journey Out, women who've been affected by trafficking. We partner with a bunch of different organizations. So we all get together as a community and try to give back.
Right. Because it's good you have celebrity. You're using that celebrity. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I mean, thank you.
Yes.
I don't consider myself a celebrity, but we're going to put it out there.
Right.
But again, I think even when we talk about Jeremy Lin, the musical, when we got together sort of as actors that wanted to make something, we also thought about how can we do this and give back to the community, And until you're Angelina Jolie or whatever, you have to start from where you are.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing.
Okay, good. We got a few more minutes. You have a pilot, The Asian That Didn't. It was a finalist for Sundance Episodic Lab and Showtime's Tony Cox Award.
Yeah.
I know you're happy.
Yeah, I'm very proud of this.
Can you give me a synopsis of that play?
Yes. So it's a pilot about me being a failed Filipino because I didn't become a nurse.
Okay.
It's just loosely based on my life and who I am. Formatted like, I don't know, Louis or Amy Schumer with a stand-up in between and then sort of like antics of Anna. But it's very, the pilot itself is about a previous time in my life when I was dating and on Tinder and all these like mess ups with dating, and then the latter half of it is just all Filipino family.
Gotcha.
So it explores the Filipino American experience, and for me as a first generation, as an immigrant also, and just kind of being like a very Americanized Filipino. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely a more Showtime-y HBO kind of show. It's not PG,
Gotcha.
but it's in my voice, and I'm very proud of it.
Okay. Any future projects? I saw the Orchid Project. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so it was actually also up for an alternate for the Orchard Lab last season. So all these labs are like with some of the best TV showrunners and makers in TV, and I feel so blessed because it's the first thing I've written outside of stand-up. So the fact that people have been responding to it, like I'd have people who were on the panel who were like playwrights I studied in school, and I'm like, oh my god, like she read my pilot, like fame. I'm like, oh, they're reading my Asian pilot, It's really exciting. So it's been getting passed around, and we're still in the works of trying to get it made.
Okay. Final question. How do you want to be remembered?
Oh my gosh, how do I want to be remembered?
Mm-hmm.
I want to be remembered as a woman, an artist who, I guess, was really good at her job, but also who loved her family and gave back in her work.
That's all we can ask for.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
Yeah.
Really glad we can
You
get
almost made me cry with that last question, Ron.
Well, that wasn't intended. It wasn't intended, but hey.
I was like, it's so deep.
In the short time that I've known you, I can see you have a woman of faith and a woman who knows where she's going in all directions. And I enjoy being with you. I want to give, before we leave, special thanks to our sponsors, Harvey Brandman, Photography is an Art, Ron Avon, 5150 The Book, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, and State Farm Agent Carla Green. Those are the people who pay our bills. So we want to thank you very much for that. But again, do come back again.
Oh, well, thank you so much for
and
having
if you need
me.
anybody to do some narration, please let me know.
I know who to call. I know who to call.
Indeed. God bless you. And thank you so much for being here. Take care. And again, thanks to our ever-growing audience. We'll see you next time. Take care.